not only the billboards themselves, but this kind of concept of Alberta becoming a 51st or 50th and a half state?
I see no enthusiasm for that notion. What I have seen is the opposite. I have seen so many Canadians and Albertans in particular reaching out and saying, we got to put Canada first. We've got to tear down interprovincial trade barriers. We've got to find new markets. We've got to support each other.
Premier Smith reacting to a billboard suggesting that Alberta should become the 51st state, stating that she sees no enthusiasm for the idea while noting a rise in Canadian patriotism. I want to talk about this as just like a side quest of something else. I'm going to throw my cat out. So if you want to get off me and just go to the Premier, that'd be great. Thank you.
This billboard on Highway 2 north by Bowden. Mm-hmm. I was speaking with Peter Downing on the weekend, one of the folks behind it, and he suggested that they deliberately picked the picture of you at Mar-a-Lago with President Trump to isolate your position between support for the U.S. and maybe some of the differences of opinion with Team Canada on the Council of the Confederation. I was just wondering if you had received any reaction from it and what your personal reaction is to not only the billboards themselves, but this kind of concept of Alberta becoming a 51st or 50th and a half state.
I see no enthusiasm for that notion. What I have seen is the opposite. I have seen so many Canadians and Albertans in particular reaching out and saying, we got to put Canada first. We've got to tear down interprovincial trade barriers. We've got to find new markets. We've got to support each other in building new pipeline infrastructure. I've seen a sea change in attitudes across the entire country. I'm very, very encouraged by that. So I don't think there's a lot of enthusiasm for what the billboard says or what the president has been talking about. And that's why I say let's continue to be the U.S.'s best trading partner. Let's continue to be a sovereign nation, and let's get to talking about the things that are going to make us both stronger. I think that there's a real opportunity for us to talk about a North American fortress, that Canada and the U.S. together, we can make sure that we've got energy security, national security, international security, food security, and working in partnership together with building on the kind of trade relationships we've had in the past. I think that that's the pathway forward.
Economic union like the EU?
Well, and talk to anybody in the EU, they don't much love Brussels. So I think that what I do like is that we have built through various phases, whether it was the Auto Pact, followed by Free Trade Agreement, followed by NAFTA, followed by CUSMA. We have a virtually tariff-free relationship with the United States. I think it's something like 99% tariff-free. And so are there ways that we can improve that mobility, buy more goods from the U.S., have them buy more goods from us? I'm open to talking about that. And I hope we can get onto that part of the conversation very soon, because that's a lot more constructive.
So what else could she honestly say? She is a Canadian premier within Confederation. What else could she say except, I hope there are no tariffs. I hope we can build a stronger economic union, buying more goods from each other, more free trade. Of course. I mean, what else could she say as a premier? But to say there's no enthusiasm seems like a understatement. I think it's like 1 in 3 Albertans are like, yeah, if I could just have the same amount of net worth, if my dollar were at parity, I would consider it.
Yeah. Well, she could say what the Prime Minister of Greenland said when Trump started floating the idea of Greenland becoming part of America. The Prime Minister said that is up to the people of Greenland to decide.
Sure.
That is what he said. And I think that especially as it pertains to the Western provinces, where there has been a growing army of residents saying, right, we know that Confederation is not working for us. We've known for a very, very long time that it's not working for us. And we are convinced that it will never work for us the way that our elections are set up, our judiciaries are set up, the way that our Senate seats are set up. I think that there's a great many Western Canadians who are saying, right, we just want a path away from those who are abusing us.
Right.
And whether it's just leaving Canada and going on it by ourselves or joining the United States, to say that there is no enthusiasm, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. I think that there's more than a little enthusiasm for it.
Now, the side quest I wanted to go on before I was so rudely interrupted by my cute but annoying cat was the billboard itself that they asked her about. And the billboard is put up by Spot Ads. And it is at Bowden, Alberta, which is like one of the most conservative places on the planet, one of the most conservative voting regions in the entire country. And the billboard itself caused controversy. The reason I know the billboard itself caused controversy, at least on Reddit, not because I'm on Reddit, I avoid Reddit like the plague because I feel it might be a plague, is because Rebel News does business with Spot Ads. They host our billboard along the side of Highway 2. And Spot Ads, Josh, had to send an email to all of his customers explaining why they might be contacted by crazy people. Because, and this is the innocuous billboard. You can disagree with this billboard, but what it doesn't have is hate speech. No calls to violence. None of that. There's not profanity. There's nothing graphic about it. It says, tell Danielle, let's join the USA, americafund.ca. That's it. So the Reddit mob went after Josh to get him to take the billboard down. Now, to Josh's credit, he did not. He was unwavering. And good for him, because it is tough when you're not in the political nightmare on a day-to-day basis where everyone's yelling at you all the time. It can be a little rattling because you're like, I just want to put up billboards and run a billboard company. And if they've got money and it doesn't break the law, I'll put up the billboard, which is what you want. You don't want people deciding I won't do business with you based on your politics. And media, which is what that is protected in the charter. And that's where Josh came down on this. He said, you're not going to bully me. Because a billboard is media that you consume, it's a protected charter right. I'm not discriminating. And so what they did after that was they went after Josh's customers. And so Josh had to alert his customers, the crazies could contact you, and I'm very sorry, but this is why. And this is why you as a customer can count on Josh going forward, because he believes in your right to express yourself if it falls within the law, which it does. And I'm proud to say that Josh is unwavering in that, and good for him. And
we need more brave people in the world that are going to allow these conversations to happen. So just like Josh, this coming weekend, there's an event in Regina that poses this exact same question. One of the Conservative parties of Saskatchewan is holding an event at a place called the German Club. Full disclosure, I'm a invited and paid speaker to this event. And this is when it was discovered by some of the woke mob on the internet that we were just asking the question, should Saskatchewan become the 51st state? We're not asserting that it should, but we're just asking the question. We're having the conversation. We're taking the temperature of the people of Saskatchewan. When the woke mob found out about this, they started to plan a protest. The police got involved, and this is why I have to travel with private security now in Saskatchewan. Because you're
in Saskatchewan. Yeah, because of this stuff. Because they just, they want to deplatform you instead of coming to hear what is being said. And, that's the thing. Go and listen to the concerns of the other side, because if you think you've got a better answer than they have, offer it. But you don't even know what everybody's concerns are, and you want to make sure that they're never heard ever anyway. It's the worst kind of censorship.
No, it's really awful. And just huge props to the Regina German Club who was hosting the event, who had much the same response as Scott. They said, we rent banquet spaces. It's not our business what people as long as there's no hate speech, as long as there's no threats of violence, we're good to go. And if you don't like it, you can shove it. And they did say, we're reporting all of the threats to the police, the end. We're not playing this game. So just huge shout out to the Regina German Club. If you're ever in Regina, come for some schnitzel.
Yes.
Come for some
And
schnitzel.
Spot Ads, a company that will not bow to the mob. So if you need to do business with a company that is stress tested, I think is the right word, there's Spot Ads in Alberta.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.